writers. Right, so I just gave a, a tip to my C6 students, but I thought, hold on, I'm an editor too, and I have writers out there that also need tips on how to write. So here's the first tip for my writers: do not waste your conflicts. All right, so conflict is like the heartbeat of a story. I mean, it keeps your readers interested. Without conflict, a good conflict, you really and truly, like as a reader, you don't want to move on, right? What conflict does in a story, it's like as a reader, you start wondering, oh no, why did he do that? What's going to happen next? And you get excited, you want to keep reading to see what is going to happen. So the conflict is super important. Yeah, so conflict also brings realism to your story. It, it, real life is messy. And when you introduce conflict in your story, it really incorporates like a feeling of realism. People struggle, we struggle, everybody struggles. And when you explore a good conflict, it really is exciting. So don't waste those conflicts. Think about meaningful conflicts that make sense to the plot of your story, and just enjoy writing. Yeah, so for example, right, we can look at the time machine. If you haven't read that book, you can watch the movie. I think the person that so it's H.G. Wells. It's an H.G. Wells book, and it was a movie. I don't remember what year, but Guy Pearce was in it, and it was a really good version that I enjoyed. So you can try watching it if you can't read it. So in that story, whether the book version or the movie version, there are two particular conflicts that were really, really intriguing and got you. The first conflict is at the beginning of the story when the protagonist, Alexander Hardigan, his fiance dies, tragic accident. He proposed to her, and on that same night, she dies. Not he, she dies. Now, what this introduces a man versus himself conflict because he cannot, Alexander, he can't get over her death, so he pushes himself to create the time machine so that he can go back in time to literally fix the problem and, you know, so that she's not, she's alive, right? So that's the first conflict, and what that conflict does is that it enables Alexander to become like a everyman. Like we the reader would just say, "Oh my gosh, he just lost his girl, and he's 4 years he's sitting down obsessing, trying to create a machine to bring her back, and we feel it for him. We feel something for him. Some of us might feel, wow, what a yamhead, 4 years trying to build a machine. Even though he's like a physicist, he's he is he can build it because he's a physicist and something else that allows him to build it, right? So he has the expertise to build this machine. But some of us will think he's a yamhead, total yamhead for, you know, spending time to do something that's impossible. Um, but then the romantic people like me that love the romance of it all will think, oh my gosh, so wonderful. He's gonna spend this time to do this, which shows how much he really loved her. So that conflict helps us to like the the protagonist and read on or watch on. Yeah, so the next conflict that was really well used by H.G. Wells many, 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 many years ago, father of sci-fi, is that he encounters the Morlocks, right? So these are the antagonists, and he is forced to become like a hero and protect the Eloi. These are the innocent good guys of the future. So he literally becomes like their savior by destroying the Morlocks. So and it endears us to him, and we keep reading because we have adventure and we have two strong pieces of conflict that get us interested as readers. Yeah, so hold on. Sorry, I lost a thought there. What I was trying to say is that the Morlocks are very interesting They're very interesting antagonists that really get the conflict going, because they're the classic evil versus good, good versus evil, right? So we don't like them. They are not complex characters that we think, oh, poor Morlocks. No, they're just evil and wicked. And we're able to, as the reader, receive this piece of work and say, oh, Alexander is just so He's just such a good person for thinking beyond himself, going beyond his grief, and helping these people. So, writers, this is for you. As I said before, I just did a little tip for students. So, this is my tip for writers. Yeah? If you want to see more of what I do as an editor, you can go on lisasays.weebly.com. That is LEISASAYS dot WEEBLY.com. And you can check out my list of authors. Ignore the noise in the background. All right, so have a great rest of your Saturday, and I hope this tip helps you, writer.